Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm Rudy, and today I wanted to talk about what's been going on with the ceasefire deal that Trump has been trying, trying, to get done, and if he's made any progress on it. But before I get into that, I just want to say that me and some other channels on YouTube, journalists, and just bunch of great people, teamed up with Car for Ukraine, and we're starting to fundraise to raise money to buy trucks for Ukrainian troops on the front line. They convert them into whatever it is that they need for their soldiers in different units. I'll put the link in the description. And yeah, I mean it's a really good thing. It's going to be going on probably at least another month, and I'll more than likely be talking about it in my upcoming videos. But yeah, let's jump in. So, for those of you that don't know, Donald Trump has been working on a ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia, pretty much since he officially came back to office just a few months ago. But I think he's finding out really quick that it's a lot harder to get them to a ceasefire than he initially expected. Uh, Russia is wanting outrageous demands, and although Donald Trump was claiming that Zelensky and Ukraine was wanting to continue this war and Zelensky was a dictator, that is obviously not the truth. Ukraine, and more specifically, Vladimir Zelensky, was the first one to agree to a ceasefire last week in Saudi Arabia with Trump's representatives, Marco Rubio and Mike Waltz, their advisors and defense secretary in the Trump administration. They got Ukraine's president to agree to a ceasefire, and there was obviously some certain, not demands, but requirements for the ceasefire to take place. Vladimir Zelensky was wanting all the children that were taken in the from the occupied territories that Russia does occupy, specifically in the Donbass, Kherson region, and just all along the border, everything that's occupied by Russia currently. There has been children forcibly taken from their homes, their parents, and they were um, taken back to Russia. Basically, they have been there since the first few months of the war. That is a requirement. That is a absolute red line for Ukraine's president, Vladimir Zelensky, in order for them to have a ceasefire, as any country would. They want those kids back. These are kids that were kidnapped. This is the same reason as to why the international criminal courts issued a warrant out for Vladimir Putin, because he forcibly had these children removed from Ukraine, taken back to Russia, and underwent Russian indoctrination to love Russia, even though that's not their homeland. So, yesterday, when Donald Trump had, I'm sorry, not yesterday, the day before, had a phone conversation with Putin, who he likes to think is one of his best friends and somebody he's so close with. Putin, obviously, like everybody that has been following this conflict and could see from the outside that this was never going to work. I guess we were right, because President Putin, the dictator of Russia, rejected a ceasefire. He's wanting unrealistic concessions from Ukraine that are never going to happen. Um, they were supposed to have a ceasefire in the land, sea, and on the front lines. But in order for the ceasefire to take place, Putin was demanding that everybody stop giving arms to Ukraine so they can't defend themselves. Ukraine is not allowed to mobilize any more men into their military. But why would you care about any of that stuff unless you were trying to at some point invade Ukraine again. Why would you care if what type of military equipment is in Ukraine or how big they make their military with who cares how many soldiers? Why does any of that matter unless Putin intends to invade Ukraine once again at a later date? But we all know that that's exactly what his intentions are. He's broken multiple ceasefires in the past over the years, Minsk 1, Minsk 2. There's just no trust. The Russian Federation cannot be trusted in any way, shape, or form. Um, but anyways, let me go ahead and play a clip from Vladimir Zelensky on what he had to say about the ceasefire and what he thinks about Putin's demands. So let me play this clip.
Хоча виглядає дуже дивно, якщо ти не збираєшся далі воювати проти нас і дійсно хочеш миру, я маю на увазі Путіна, то чому тобі боятися української армії? Для чого ти робиш все, щоб послабити нашу армію або послабити захист наших людей? Тому що коли ми говоримо про припинення допомоги, наприклад, важлива допомога, розвідданих, обмін розвідданих, важлива. Що найголовніше, що ми втрачаємо, якщо немає цих даних? У нас є свої дані і від інших партнерів. А що ми втрачаємо, якщо американських розвідданих немає? Наприклад, ми втрачаємо точність польоту або виходу балістики. Для чого це Путіну? Якщо він не хоче нас вбивати, для чого йому боротись, щоб президент Трамп зупинив нам цю інформацію? Це говорить про те, що це неадекватні вимоги. Це говорить про те, що він хоче, щоб ми не отримували інформацію, коли летить балістика по українським цивільним, тому що балістикою вони б'ють по цивільній інфраструктурі, значить він хоче, щоб ми не знали цих атак. А значить, щоб наші люди не йшли в бомбосховище. Тобто це все говорить про продовження війни. Тому я не вважаю, що треба йти на будь-які поступки щодо допомоги на Україні, а навпаки, треба посилювати допомогу Україні, тому що це сигнал, що Україна готова до будь-яких сюрпризів від русських.
So just like I said a while ago, and Zelensky just said here, why would Putin worry about if Ukraine continues to receive weapons and they continue to mobilize their men in their military if they didn't plan on attacking them again at a later date, which if their track record, um, with their track record, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what would happen. Um, Almost guaranteed at some point in time. So, what did Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin also discuss during their 2 hour long phone conversation the other day? It wasn't, the abducted children or anything like that. It was how to normalize their relationship with Americans. And a new poll came out recently that majority of Americans still support Ukraine. So the fact that Donald Trump is now discussing with Vladimir Putin about our two countries playing hockey together is, in my opinion, absurd, inappropriate, and majority of Americans would not like it or support it. I know there's a lot of things going on in the U.S. right now that even coming from a lot of ex-Trump supporters, and I'm talking just recent supporters. A lot of them are getting fired. A lot of them are, or as they say, are getting doged. But there's a lot of things going on. Tesla dealerships are getting vandalized. Tesla vehicles are getting blown up and lit on fire, and just a bunch of stuff. I think this administration is taking our country into a completely different direction than majority of us thought, even their own voters thought. And I'm referring to even MAGA. A lot of their supporters definitely did not think that they were going to try and drag our country into the direction they are. We're losing all of our allies. So many countries are boycotting us, and I really think the Trump administration was campaigning on getting our respect back from other countries. Countries already respected us, and we're in a situation to where almost no countries are respecting us. So many countries cannot stand us at this point in time. So I guess we'll see what other stories develop throughout the week as far as the negotiations with Ukraine and Russia, and we'll see if Donald Trump is able to pull out any ceasefire deals with them. In my opinion, I don't think it's going to be happening for a long time. They're too far apart in their negotiation, um, what their red lines are, and it's not that Ukraine is asking for anything that serious. They're just wanting their kids back that were abducted. um, they want all their POWs back that are in prisoner of war camps and are being tortured. um, I mean, Russia is completely, they do not care about international law. They don't care about the Geneva Convention. And I absolutely believe that Ukraine is not asking for anything outrageous. They are the victims in this situation, no doubt. And the sad thing is there's been some articles coming out that the Trump administration has deleted or destroyed their data on the Ukrainian children that have been abducted by Russia. So I'm not sure how much truth there is to that. I know there has been articles out about it recently, but being that this Trump administration is so unpredictable, I'm really, really hoping not. That if they have deleted and got rid of this data that they already defunded an organization that was solely made to find and track down these abducted children. So that's already a big blow to Ukraine on another obstacle that they'll have to overcome to find their abducted children that are in Russia somewhere. They have been adopted by some families. They don't know where these children are. And some of them are going to probably be adults by the time they get back, if they get back. So I'm really hoping that the Trump administration didn't delete all this data, and then they're going to be like, "Oh, we don't have no information on any abducted children. There isn't no abducted children." I just have a feeling that that's something that this Trump administration may try and say, do later on down the road when ceasefire talks, you know, get closer to being, you know, met. So I don't know. We'll just see what goes on. But anyways, I hope everybody has a good day. And yeah, I'll talk to you later.